What's up, YouTube? Erod212, and today we're going to talk about affordable keys I'm investing in right now. All right. So, as most of us have seen, the comic book market right now, just like the sports card market, has blown up dramatically through the roof, whichever way we want to put it. Record sale prices for major keys, even minor keys, are being reached on a consistent basis. So, with that in mind, I try and look for books that have yet to reach their maximum potential so that I could get a good entry point into them and still make a good return on investment in the event that I do decide to sell the book, or I have multiple copies, and that way I could sell a couple of the copies to buy myself a bigger key. Just a way to make the hobby fund the hobby. So I'm going to show you some books that I believe are good return on investment, and just going to do it a little different. I usually use my GPA analysis, but I also have a cover price. So I wanted to show you guys that, and let me know what you guys think, which one you like better, if you like the GPA, the appearance of the GPA, or the cover price. I believe the cover price, the way they get their evaluation for the market, they have more sources that they hit besides just eBay and a couple of auctions. So I've seen you get more recent sales, so possibly a truer feel to it. But you guys decide on that. All right. So the first book I want to talk about is Wolverine #1, the miniseries from 1982. Iconic Frank Miller classic. This is one of my favorite books of all time. And let's take a look at the numbers. All right, so here we go. Wolverine #1, 1982. Iconic cover. So this is the appearance. I like the appearance of the cover price a lot better. You actually get a picture of the book that you're looking at. And then we'll do it this way. We'll go down. So it's the first solo Wolverine title, the first cameo of Yukio, great love of Logan. The last recorded sale for a 9.8 was $999. So a 9.8 has blown up. The typical sales right now for a 9.8 at $266, with a typical sale for a raw copy going for $138. Now there is a newsstand edition to this, but remember it's 1982, so take that with a grain of salt. So they have it trending down 65%, but I've been watching this book, and just if you're watching some of the sales for 9.8 recently, let's take a look at this data right here. It's 9.9s are really high. It's $4,000 for a 9.9, but a 9.8 in April sold for $1,000. In March, another 9.8 sold for $1,000. One for $1,375, another one for $1,000. 900, $899. So you're seeing that 700 to 700 all the way up to $1,000 now for a 9.8. If we go down to a 9.6, and these are all the sales still. I'm sorry about that. Let's go down. As you can see, this book has a lot of sales. 9.6 last sold was $470, $419 in March, $324, $410. So two sales. That's three sales of over $400 in the last month and a half. So not shabby at all. Now let's take a look at this book in raw copy, and that's the other thing that cover price gives you that GPA doesn't. GPA collects just data on graded books. Cover price gives you data on raw books. So we'll look at some raw editions here. With the raws, you have to take it with a grain of salt that you're also going to be getting not high grade books as compared to, and you'll see it right now. So in April, you've had sales of $71, $200, $150, $110, $225. 145. So these are all your higher grades. So you're looking at it probably like 150 right now. You could probably get it between 150 and $200. Where in the month of March we were in about $100 range, more consistently. So let's say it's $150, right? So that's 150 for a raw. But if you get a 9.6, we're talking $470, and if we get a 9.8, we're talking $1,000. So to me, that's still a great price point to jump in on. I think I was fortunate enough that Everado had hooked me up, and he had the ability to purchase some, and I was able to get 3 real nice copies. Probably not 9.8s, but I bought these before the boom, so I got them for a good price. Probably hopefully in the 9.4 to 9.6 range, and I'll be very happy with those. So yeah, that's that book. Now let's take a look at the next book. Next book I want to talk about is a book that has just lit up. This should be in everybody's collection already if it's not. And that's X-Men 282, and that's the first appearance of Bishop. With all the speculation going on with Captain America and the Winter Soldier and Loki and everything else and the Time Authority, well, there's speculation that Bishop could show up because he is a time traveler. Kang is also a time traveler. So I think it's just a lot of hype on it, but this book went from a very affordable book to a book that even I was amazed by. But let's take a look at the numbers on this. All right, so here we go. X-Men number 282. This is the first cameo appearance of Bishop. They have it listed here as first appearance, but he appears in the last panel. So a la Wolverine in Incredible Hulk 180, 181, something similar. So the last recorded sales, the raw was $27. Typical sales for 9.8s are 161, but that's a valuation of all of them. If you see the recent sales, which is what you got to really look at, be shocked. There is the second print gold on this. There's an Australian price variant, and there is a newsstand. A newsstand is something that you might want to look at if you can find it. And they don't know they have a newsstand. This book is from 1991, so there are less newsstands at that point. Right? There's 1,442 recorded sales, 8% trend since April. So let's see the sales on the 9.8s. So 9.8s have spiked up, and we have sales here in April for $475, $515, and $293. In March, you had sales of $431, $210, $355, $490, $460, $375. So this book is consistently, as you can see, selling in the $400 range. Let's take a look at a 9.6, and we'll stick to those two grades. 9.6 just sold for $149, $135, $80. So we're about $120 average on this book right now, but that should be increasing. But if you get a 9.8 on this book, we're talking over $400 right now, and a CGC. And let's see, raw copies right now. You're seeing raw copies selling for an average of about $27. Yeah, it's between a $25 and a $35 book. I would go more in that $35 range right now for a raw copy. But if you can get a high grade 9.6, 9.8 for $35, and with the investment you put another $30 into it with CGC, you're $65 in to make 160 or up to 400 and something. Well worth the risk on that. A book I really like a lot, and just the same way everybody jumps on other books. Let's just look at this, and I'll just throw this in as a bonus. But let's look at 283, which is the first full appearance of Bishop. All right, and this book is relatively cheap right now. You can get this book right here to see the data on this book right here, but $199, $255, $152. Probably like a $200 book right now in a 9.8, and you can get this book raw, dirt cheap. Let's take a look at how much we get this book for now. Yeah, you're getting this book for about $6. $5 to $6 anywhere. So if you can get a 9.8, it's all about getting that book in a 9.8. This is another book that I would look at. So 282 is definitely 283, first full appearance. Once 282 dries up, although there are a ton of copies of that, people will be jumping for that first appearance. So I like that. I think that's a book, and I've spec'd on that for a while, so I have quite a few of those. Book I'll probably be sending out to CGC right now. All right, next book I want to talk about is Truth, Red, White, and Black. First appearance of Isaiah Bradley. Anybody who's been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier knows about this book, and just been fantastic. This book has really, really blown up. The only thing is, does it have legs? Will they continue to use Isaiah Bradley, possibly in something, some type of role with the Young Avengers? I do not know. So let's take a look at the graded sales on this. As you can see, this book has really skyrocketed. You have last sale of $699, a sale of $900, $710, and $342 in April. $500, basically $450, $500 before that in March. So this book is an easy $600, $700 book right now with the last few sales here. Now, raw copies on this book can be had for relatively cheap, probably in that $60 to $70 range in there. You can probably find a nicer one for, $55 or so, which was like the last sale. But a book that I am willing to take a risk on, if you have this already and you have gotten it graded, congratulations. If not, you might have to fast track this and pray that he shows up at least all the way through the series, and a little bit of spec. And the book is never going to go down, but I don't know if it'll stay at a $700 book. All right, the next book we're going to take a look at is a classic, another book that's been around for a while. A lot of copies of it, people have been picking it up, but I think it's going to grow. It still has a lot of return on investment. That's X-Men 244, first appearance of Jubilee. So let's take a look at this book. All right, so X-Men 244, as you can see, it says a typical sales $149 with the raw about $39. Let's take a look at the recent sales on this book. And we're talking 250, 240, 235, 240. So it's about a $250 book now. Let's see what you can get it for. Raw copy of this book averages about $45. The last few sales are $45. So I would go between a $40 range, $45 range. This book can be had if you're able to get it and pick it out in a 9.8. Then you're in the game. I also feel that this book has not seen its peak, as we just saw with the first appearance of Bishop. I think the first appearance of Jubilee will have a spike similar to that. I think a lot of these X-Men minor characters, not the classic Cyclops and all that stuff, have a lot of room to grow. I've spoken about Phantom X in the past and Quentin Quire. These are other characters that I'm also looking at quite often, just watching the market on it. You should be too. The last book we're going to talk about is Incredible Hulk, number 449, and that's the first appearance of Thunderbolts. As we know, Thunderbolt Ross is part of it. Baron Zemo is part of it. There's a lot of hints that are going to lead to the Thunderbolts. So this book has been seeing a peak. I think it stayed in a lull for a long time with all the spec, because Thunderbolt Ross has been talked about for a long time, and the Thunderbolts have been speculated for quite a while. But recently, this book has started to spike. My question, and I wanted to show you this, do you think that it has hit its peak, or does it still have room to grow? But let's take a look at the numbers. All right, Incredible Hulk 449, first appearance of the Thunderbolts. So the last sale, April 7th, sold for $1,100 on this. They're saying typical sales of $286, but I like to look at, with this system, I like to look at the most recent sales and kind of make that adjustment, because they evaluate for a long period of time. So we had a recent sale on the 7th for $1,100. a $800 sale, two $800 sales, a $700 sale. So the last 5 sales on this have been $700 or more. Previous to that, it was a $500 sale. So this book has spiked really, really high. And I just want to see something. But let's take a look at a 9.6 just to see if it's worth it. 9.6 is sold for $400, the last sale. So this, a la Young Avengers, has become a pricey book. Now let's see what the price point is to get this on a raw copy and see if it's worth it or not. All right. So recent raw data on this: 95, 135, 212, 190. I would say this is a $150 to $200 raw copy, but if you're getting this at up to $200, and you're able to turn that into a 9.6 or a 9.8, you're talking a $400 to $1,000 book. And I think once the series starts getting up there, the hype is going to be real on this. So yeah, those are the books that I've picked. Those are the books I've been looking for. Let me know what you guys think in a comment. Let me know how you like the cover price as compared to GPA analysis. And to my next video, peace.